Okay, we're recording, and I'm going to mute all of you people. Okay, Jamie Lynn, you can unmute. So you guys, final week. Awesome. Hi, Renee. Thank you. Hi, good to see you. And we kind of went back and forth if we were like, oh, here's some questions we think that are really popular, and we would proactively kind of answer them for you guys. Or we even thought about putting a poll up like, hey, should we see in advance what they want? We're like, no, number one, that's reward the people that are getting on live, and so the people in podcast time or recorded time can just, learn from this afterwards. But the second is it kind of assumes like, oh, maybe this is what they're looking for. Maybe that's what they're looking for, that we really truly want to be available for you. And if there's something specific, like you're like, ooh, Kristen Jenkins, I want you to answer this, or Jessica, can you answer this, or Jamie Lynn or Renee or me or whatever, address us. Otherwise, what we'd love for you to do is just ask any question you have. Remember that there's no stupid question, there's no wrong question, there's no not good enough question. Your question is your question, and we're all at different levels in the business. And if you don't ask for a specific speaker, then Renee is like, oh yeah, I'm fired up. I got the pools and she's ready. You know what I mean? To like answer that one. And we think she crushes it. Like she's going to be the only one that answers it. Or if she says something, I'm like, oh crap, but I want to add to this. Like I might piggyback on that, but all 5 of us aren't going to answer every question because that's not going to allow you guys to ask as many questions as we allot for the next 45 minutes to an hour. So that being said, Kristen Jenkins and Jessica Rigner have ICU this weekend, and they're extraordinarily busy, but will be joining us. So in the interim, you have me and Renee and Jamie Lynn, and we want to hear from you. So you can either use the chat and just type in your question, or just unmute, pop out, and then mute again while we answer. And I know people don't want to go first, but once we get this ball rolling, you guys will be like unstoppable. So
let us hear your question. Unmute yourself, definitely, so we can hear your voice.
Hi, Lauren. Can you hear me?
Yep. Someone just said, Lauren, can you hear me? I don't know who that was. Is that Amy?
Yeah, this is me.
Hello, Amy.
Hi. I was going to reach out to you, Lauren. I actually saw you at the Leadership Summit just a little while ago back in King of Prussia.
Uh-huh.
And you had mentioned how you studied all of the numbers, and then you talked a lot about numbers, and you said that you really studied it. And I'm just wondering, like, what did you study? Where did you find it? There's a lot of stuff out there. And so, like, what did you, like, study everything?
Renee, you might probably know where a lot of, like, good stuff is, too. I'm like, Google Herb Cepeda, just kidding. Because a lot of his stuff before, like, we got good about, like, protecting it and having, like, password stuff is out there and, like, old school from, like, Lynn Hagedorn. But honestly, the stuff that I had trained on at King of Prussia, like those formulas, like, I actually don't know if I have the slide deck. Kristen or Jessica do. Like, I would be fine with them adding that into our rapid reset that have those formulas, or we can type in those rank advancement formulas, so you can find it on how to do it. But when I say that I studied it, like I watched actually Jen Smith, the like comp plan of like one on the left, one on the right, one, until I understood like what an outside leg meant, what an inside leg meant, like why everybody's team leg isn't the left leg, why some people are on an inside leg, like why some people's focus leg is the right and that's someone else's team leg. Like that made no sense to me. And I got really tired of like calling Janny and asking where I should be enrolling people and what side. That I watched that, and I watched, Jim Coover's Understanding the Compensation Plan, and I watched Lynn Hagedorn draw out where her tree becomes a jungle over and over and over and over, till I went from like, ooh, I'm less confused, till I think I get that, to where I could teach it. And I think like when you can actually teach it to somebody else, that's the highest level of understanding. And like the same with the pools. Like I would Google Isagenix director pools and Isagenix executive pools, and I watched things from Tracy O'Malley, and I watched things from Laura Stevens, and I found things from Kelly Dickerhoof and Kayla Kraft, and I didn't want to just hear it one way. I wanted to hear it over and over and over and over, so that I could understand that net cycle growth and your benchmark and all of those things as easy as I could, 2 + 2. But like one video wasn't going to do it. Like one star and above training at an ICU wasn't going to do it. And when I wasn't in the pools, I asked people to send me their director pools of last month so I could like practice. You know, I was like, if I was going to have this person max out in the pools, what's their benchmark? What would their net cycle growth need to be? And thank you, Renee, for putting that in there. But like, you know, figuring out what they would need to do to be able to max out those pools. I would kind of like pretend. And so the same way that I created like really false examples at the King of Prussia event, where I said, okay, if this person was going to go 1-star or 2-star, what would they need to do? My studying was pretend practicing. Like I would pull up Sarah's business and say, okay, if Sarah was going to go for 1-star, what would she need to do? And kind of like reverse engineering it. That stuff with the rank advancement and those ghost cycles is really not taught, you know, like anywhere at like our major events. If you go to like the Isagenix compensation plan, it's all there. All of the cycle equivalents is what it's called, which is how the single PIBs, how the rank advancement bonuses, how retail profit, how all of that counts. And then I just did it. I just applied it. I mean, I think the same way if you got a recipe, you'd have to make those cookies way more than once to like master your favorite recipe. I just kind of did it over and over and over. And as things came up. Renee, you should add to this because you're the numbers girl and I've learned so much from you. I'm going to be like, I used to message Renee. I would be like, help.
True. Really, it's studying over and over again. And I will tell you, so I dropped it in the chat box. There's a link there to a video. This I took from Zach and Eden Slobin and made it my own, just to be completely transparent. And it breaks down the comp plan, but it is a visual of how the comp plan works. It is updated to include the $100 weight loss value pack PIBs, just so you guys know. It's 15 minutes. It's short and it's sweet, but it goes from beginning to end of the comp plan. So if you are uncomfortable with the comp plan or you don't understand certain nuances of it, I really suggest checking out that quick video. As it relates to pools, what I'm going to tell you is what pretty much we were told. Again, like Lauren said, practice, but don't be afraid to ask. Like if someone comes to me and asks me, how do I crush the 1-star pool? Do you think that I'm going to turn that person away? Hell no, right? We want to help. So if that's something that's one of your goals, bring it to any of us. I mean, I will tell you the past 2, hopefully this month too, you know, I've made thousands of dollars in the leadership pools. So has my enrolling sponsor. And that's because we really make sure we know our numbers and where we're at. And I always know what my benchmark is. So as you're creeping on the 1-star, the 2-star, 3-star pools, just know those things. And, you know, just know that the more people that you have in your lines that are hitting those ranks, getting up manager, director, executive, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, the stronger and more stable your business is going to be. And what's beautiful about Isagenix is that we don't just build wide, we build deep, 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 deep. I want to stress that because so many other comp plans, they really do build wide. It's a lot of hustle. It's a lot of churn and burn. And here, you know, there's so much value in the depth of your business as well as the width of your business. So as it goes to like strategy, it's really studying the comp plans, studying the videos, not being afraid to ask questions. And also anytime they release out a new flyer, like, you know, under contests and promotions in your back office, they go over the different, and also it's under the new promotions tab, the reports tab, I'm sorry. You can see the different flyers, okay, for all the different contests that they're running. And really, honestly, I just study them. I print them out and I highlight them and I take notes and I read the fine print. And that's how I've found a lot of ways that I've learned all the different nuances of our comp plan.
I want to add one other thing. Oh, I didn't mean to turn my video off. One other thing, and then I think maybe we can move on to the next question. But the other is reverse understanding your compensation, right? So like I remember like getting checks and not understanding how I got paid or when I got paid. And so if you go to team and your team compensation history where it starts to break it down, you will understand what daily pay is, what weekly pay is, why certain things are paid a week in the rear, what monthly pay is. And if you earn, you know, $4,387 in the leadership pool, like understand where that came from. What was the share value? How many shares did you have? Well, what was your benchmark that you knew what that did? I mean, if you reverse backwards on how you're getting paid for you and your team, you'll understand double PIBs. You'll understand the rank advancement bonuses. You'll understand the leadership pools, all of those. And if there is retail profit or any cycle equivalents, they show up on there. So if you spend time each week looking at your personal compensation and trying to figure out where that came from, if it's anything more than like one enrollment in one cycle, I think you'll learn a lot that way as well.
Yeah, I would agree. Pulling reports, dissecting them, and analyzing them. Someone over here in the chat mentioned about ghost cycles. So I just want to make sure that everyone here understands, because not everybody was at that summit. Sorry, just sneeze.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Clearly, I am dramatic today. So one question, does everyone raise your hand if you understand what a ghost cycle is? That very, very quickly. So there's actually might be someone on this call, maybe not, who hit 1 star a couple weeks ago and nobody caught it. And I think it was because she had 5 cycles showing on the screen, but she had enrolled so many packs that week that those packs, those systems count towards what we call ghost cycles. Okay, so what you do is you take whatever the PIB is for them. It was Rhiannon. Yep, Jenny just said it was Rhiannon. So you take whatever the PIB is. So if it's $100 PIB, okay, you're going to divide it by 54 times 1. I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. Is that right? Lauren, interrupt me. Okay, times 1. So that's what the extra ghost cycle you're going to get. Now, here's the catch. They don't round, okay? So if you're at 0.85, just know that you have to be at 1.00 to make sure that you're getting that 1 extra cycle. So for example, a weight loss value pack, you've got 100 divided by 54. As you can tell, that is way more than 1 extra cycle. That's why enrolling value packs, not only is it valuable from the BD standpoint, but it's super valuable when it comes to these ghost cycles. So those extra cycles that you get from that formula, which is the PIB divided by 54 times 1, is going to equal a number. And that number counts towards cycles to a rank advancement of 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, etc. Okay? So the more packs that you enroll in a given pay week, that can help to push you over the edge. Let's say you're paid as manager and you're going for that 1 star bonus. You're paid as director and you're going for that 2 star bonus. Just keep that in mind. If you have a really big week where you're enrolling a lot of people personally, that you're going to be able to count that extra, what we call ghost cycles, towards a possible rank advancement. Cool? All right.
You guys, I have too, if you go to my YouTube, the Dream Numbers in Action channel, where all these recordings have been, if you type in Lauren and like rank advancing or rank advancement, I have a whole call. It's an hour long that talks about the ghost cycles and where single PIBs, executive matches, or retail profit, where that is and what they are and how to calculate them. So that's available for you guys as well. And I'll try and post it in our page.
Kristen and Jessica are also both on, just so we know.
Oh, yay. Okay, good. Next question. Thank you, Amy, for going first.
I was going to say there's about 50 of you on, so I know
55.
someone.
I'll go.
Thanks, Kyle.
Hi. So this could be for anyone. So question for when either a new or a current customer comes to you interested in the business, do you have any, like, I guess, acid tests or anything like that you tell them, you know, check out this book, check out this video, just to see how serious they are and follow up in a certain amount of time? Or what's your first kind of thing when someone asks you that?
I'm going to type mine because it's easy because I do it the same. And then you guys can copy and paste it and save it somewhere. I'm going to let someone else answer while I type.
Okay, I want to answer this because this is like the best and easiest way in the entire world. This is Kristen. You all can hear me, right? Yes? Okay. And sorry for being late. So ISA Sales to Go app, every single one of you should have it because you get a notification when someone watches the video that you send them. And as soon as someone tells me that they are interested in the business, I send them, you share, they share, whether they've already got it or seen it, as well as the fast track to executive that Kathy Coover does. You immediately will get a notification if they've watched it. It's like, I've had people tell me they want to do the business and then not open it up and watch it. And then I ask them, what did you like about that video? And people will actually respond to me and be like, oh, it was awesome. And I'm like, okay, you're clearly not running for this. So if you guys aren't utilizing that app, I don't even know what it's like $10 a month or something. Renee, you probably know the exact cost of it. I have no idea what it is. But it is worth it for everything. You get PDFs, you get every video there. But those are my first two that I send just because I think they give us a really nice, clean example of the basics of the compensation plan. And it is a test. It's a test to see how eager are they when they watch it, and then what questions they have from there. And then obviously, depending on the person in their scenario, I'll get more involved with questions and plug them into our different steps and things like that. I don't know if that helps, or if any of you guys do anything different, James or Lauren or Renee.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very similar. Great points, guys.
I wrote mine in there. If you saw it, those are the three. And I really give them a week turnarounds. Like those are the three things I want them to do. So I have them listen to GoPro, go to Ice Movie, make a list of at least 50 names as they're watching each movie. So people authentically come to them, and then print out the Maps Crystal Executive and know their why. And when they come back to that, then we start talking about everything else. If they don't do that, they're not serious. I'm not saying that's the right way. I will add in, because I think she's brilliant, Tracy O'Malley has them make a list of 100 names after they watch Ice Movie, and then circle their top 10 scariest. And then after they contact them, she works with them. Because if you can contact your top 10, then you can contact the other 90. So some people do that as well. If you guys saw in here, Melissa's microphone's not working, but she was asking, like, what do we say at networking events, and how do we like introduce ourselves with 30-second commercials? And this might be something we all kind of want to chime in, because it's probably a little bit different. But I think that, not that I want to be disingenuous by any means, but the same way that like you find common ground with people, what I talk about is kind of intuitively. So if I'm somewhere where I feel like people are more focused on the products, I talk about, that I am in a health and wellness company, and we have cutting edge nutritional solutions for families. Like literally, if you're on this planet, you need our solutions, which might be totally different if I'm in an entrepreneur situation and I'm saying, Jessica's line that I own a virtual franchise, a global virtual franchise or something of that, which I'm going to let her say because it's so much better. But I usually say I own my own business with a global health and wellness company, and I free families physically and financially and design my life in the process. So I will tailor a product or business based on what I think they're talking about. I rarely ever say Isagenix in the first sentence. We don't work for Isagenix. We're not employed with them. And no matter what it is, it's always about them. Like I will, no matter what about the products of what it will do for them or the business, tailor it in a way of like, and you can have this too. Or, what's really fun is anybody can do this, that I try to initially open up that door that they see that they can do what I'm doing as well.
I'll go. So I run a women's networking group. I actually chartered it here in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I live. And now there's 4 or 5 other chapters as a result of it. So I'm around this a lot, but I will tell you, depending upon the type of networking group that you go to, there's rules that you can't talk about your business opportunity. So for example, when there's other network marketing or direct sales or MLM folks in your networking group. So in my group, we cannot talk about the business opportunity, but I find ways to like very gently infuse it into things that I do. But this is kind of what I coach them all on, because I do a lot of coaching in the group as well. I always tell them to make sure you identify yourself, your business. So if you've named your business or branded it, like mine it's called the Ramp Effect. It's what our wellness community is. And I just say that we are powered by Isagenix, but that's where I leave it, because I do oftentimes feature products in my commercial. And the reason why is I like to be very specific with what the types of referrals I'm asking for. So in a 30-second, you want to say your name, your business, a blurb about your business. So I usually say we are aligned with a health and wellness company. We have solutions for energy, performance, weight loss, healthy aging. And I do add wealth creation sometimes. And I will say I'm looking specifically for this. And like, for example, I'll say, families that need solutions for better vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, or like if I have Isa Greens, Isa Fruits, or moms, like at the beginning of school year, moms who need their mojo back, or at the end of the school year, moms who need more energy, and I'll hold up e-shots. Or I'm looking for chiropractors that don't currently offer blah, blah, blah. Or if there's a specific chiropractor that you're looking to meet or get introduced to, say I'm looking for somebody to introduce me to so-and-so. But the more specific you can be about the types of referrals you're looking for, the more referrals you're going to get. So that's key. And then you always want to wrap it up again, just reintroducing yourself. So I'll leave that at that.
That's really good, Renee. You know, I've done a ton of those networking events as well, where you go and it's like a weekly or monthly thing. But I will tell you, if I'm at like a social type of event where it's just like cocktails and you're, you know, like almost like a business card exchange type thing where it's not so formal, I just like Lauren said, I feel out the crowd, and whoever it is that I'm talking to, you know, I always am going to ask questions first. I want to know who that person is, what they're doing first. I want to know what their business is, what industry they're in. So almost if you can, I don't want to say like take control of the conversation, but take control of it so that you can get to know who that person is. Because we all know that we have solutions for every single person, like Lauren said, on this planet. So it's how can we serve them potentially, or how can we serve their network? I'm going to be honest with you. I recently have been saying I'm a network marketing professional. I own that. You know, I'm like, I am in the network marketing industry. I'm partnered with a health and wellness company. It's different every single time. And it does definitely always depend on who that person is. You have to get confident with just being proud. You know, I used to say silly things, you know, before I started this, when I was trying to like cover up what I did. And I was like, I own it. Like I have my own business. I'm, you know, a network marketing professional and partnered with one of the largest health and wellness companies in the world. So that's really kind of the way that I go along about it. Next question, or we're moving on to the next question.
Okay.
I can go if you want me to answer that one too. I mean, I think I say a lot of what Lauren says with owning a virtual franchise in the health and wellness community, and help other people set up their own virtual franchises, create income while they sleep, look and feel better than they've ever felt and looked.
Thank you, Jessica. Hi, I can't see you though.
You can't see me?
Well, that's because you're not on my screen. I was like, where is she? I just heard your voice.
Oh, I see her. She's on the second screen.
Oh, there she is, looking glamorous, girl.
Whoa, thank you.
Okay, what else, guys? These are good.
How about any questions about sealing the deal for Crystal Director? Like, if you haven't hit it yet, let's go, right? Any questions? I don't know, I missed the first question.
Sarah has a question. I see you, Sarah.
Hi, everybody. My question is, I'm trying to think of the best way to ask it. Really, like how to maximize all of the conversations that we have, right? Like so much of the process is nurturing that relationship, and you know, really going through and identifying that need and then bringing up the solution. And I feel like I sometimes get stuck in like having those conversations, and if there's any ideas you have about how to like expedite that process and get to the point where we can talk about Isagenix a little bit sooner, that'd be awesome. Any insight on that?
I'm going to hop in if that's okay. And then I know Jessica's going to have brilliance on this too, probably everybody, but because I built with such urgency because I was so busy, is there's a, Susan Sly called it being internally motivated, but externally focused, right? I mean, your drive, if you're hitting Crystal Director, if you're hitting a bonus, if you want double pibs or whatever, that's why you're choosing to get on the phone instead of watching TV or Sunday Funday or whatnot. But as soon as you're on the phone, you show up with a harder service. You show up of like, I'm so grateful this happened to me and this is what I can do for you. And it's really the energy and the certainty that they're going to feel. But people can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth forever, like this ping pong ball, and no one's talking about it. And it is exhausting because they are just thinking you're chit-chatting, and on the back end, you've like got something in your brain that you want to address. Then honest to God, what I started doing in 2013 and almost 5 years later, I use all the time is Eric Worre's script, where you compliment them, you state that you're in a hurry, and you state the purpose, right? So like via Facebook Messenger, I'm like, hey, Renee, how are you? She's like, I'm good. And I was like, oh my gosh, you popped up in my newsfeed this week. Like, I haven't seen you in a while. Like, I've just been curious what you've been up to. And she's like, oh, things are good. Like, I'm running this networking group. Like, Sadie got new glasses. Like, she says something, right? And I just say, hey, just, I'm in a hurry. I'm walking into a meeting right now. but I was reaching out to you because you are amazing. Like, you're so proactive. You have such influence in your community. And I was introduced to something that's going to rock your world. Like, when do you have 5 minutes to hop on the phone? Or I would love to chat with you tonight or tomorrow. What works well for you, right? And that is that certainty. You just won the Willy Wonka, golden ticket, and I want to get on the phone with you. Another way, like when I'm out and about, like not on Facebook, with a bartender or something of that sort, I was like, hey, I know you're super busy right now, but you're amazing. Like, you have the best customer service. You pay attention to detail. I've got to show you what I do for my own business. You would be perfect at it. Like, I'd love to connect on Facebook or Instagram, but if you can remember the formula of you're in a hurry, because that will get you out of the, you can't chit chat forever. And that gives you permission that you're not rude. They don't think you're crass because they know you're busy. Compliment them, because now they're like loving you. You just edified them. They already feel good. And then you literally say, the reason I'm messaging you, the reason I called you, the purpose of my call, because that's your certainty and you're so excited about it, and that's when Eric Royer will say, if you had the cure for cancer, you could get 20 people to buy it in a second, because you would say, the reason I'm calling you is I just found the cure for cancer, right? Which obviously that's not what Isagenix is. You say, the reason I'm calling you is because I just found an opportunity that's going to free my family, and I wanted to free yours too, right? The reason I'm calling you is I struggled with weight loss my entire life, and I've lost 10 pounds in the first couple weeks. And I thought about you. We've always done all these things together. So that's what I use, but I'm going to shut up so that other people can talk.
I'm taking notes, Lauren. That was amazing. That was great reminder. Be in a hurry. That's awesome. I have nothing else to add.
Yeah, and
I think you.
Oh, sorry, I don't know who's chatting.
Go ahead.
I would exactly what Lauren said, but I think the other opportunity that you have is when you are fostering these relationships and getting to a point. I'll say it because I'm training on it at ICU, but virtual parties, guys, and these events that we have that are virtual are a really nice opportunity to open that conversation easily and just say, hey, I'm not sure how much you've been following, but I think you would love these products just based on our conversations. And I have this virtual party tonight happening at 8:30. Would you like me to add you? So, depending on the situation, obviously being more direct, I think, is better, as Lauren just shared. But if you feel like maybe it is a little too soon, or you're still, if it's a total random person that you can't say, I know you would be great at this, because we all have those friendships that we're kind of starting to build. That is when I will just kind of open up that line of conversation. And they may say no, but who cares? They're watching. I've had people say no, and then 6 months later, they message me that they're ready, and it's because they have been watching and I've been inviting them. So use the tools that Isagenix gives us to also kind of seamlessly enter into that virtual world and let them make the decision themselves sometimes.
Jess, were you going to say something? I think that was you.
I honestly think you guys covered it. You nailed it. I think that's perfect.
Just don't be shy about what you have to offer. That teeter-totter is because you get in your head about what are they going to think? Are they going to think I'm selling them? And think more you can change their whole life. You might only get one opportunity. If Janie had not sat next to Kelly Deckerhoff on that plane, how many hundreds of thousands of people wouldn't be there? She had one opportunity to talk to her. Sometimes you're not going to get a second chance. That just get out of your head and don't worry about what they're going to think about you. Worry about what you can do for them. And then it's not what you say, it's just how you say it.
Yeah.
And you can say that to people. Be vulnerable. I would say that. Had I not X, Y, and Z, I cannot imagine my life today without these products and this opportunity. So I would be a horrible friend if I was not sharing them with you. And it might not be for you, but I want you to have the opportunity at your fingertips for you to decide. This is getting me fired up.
We would do this if we were talking to the first time. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole thing is Eric Royer says you can prospect 20 people in 10 minutes, through Facebook Messenger saying that, hey, da-da-da-da, I'm in a hurry, this is what I thought about you, kind of send it out, and then you're finding those ones that are yes, I'd love to do it. And it doesn't always have to be, again, that's your intuition. Some people you are you haven't talked to them in 25 years, and hey, by the way, watch this video. You might want to message back, but then there gets to be that point of okay, we've been texting back and forth for a day. At some point you got to bring up Isagenix, but I would do it right away, but Okay, next question.
I'll go again.
Hey guys.
I got another one, sorry.
Okay, Kyle. Erica.
So we talked about, what's that?
Just Erica will go right after Kyle.
Okay. So we talked about a couple weeks ago reaching out to current or other people in network marketing companies. And I had a meeting with someone in another nutrition company last week, and of course asked them how do you make 6 figures in your company, and they had no idea. But the follow-up, like with people in other companies, I guess, how often would you follow up, asking how their business is going? Because they'll either say things are going great, whether that's true or not, or they quit and want anything to do with networking ever again. So I guess, how do you feel those people out and just keep, following up, but not in like an abrasive way?
I can answer that. So I will tell you that one of the things, I was talking to Christina Swift today about getting ready for ICU, and one of the things that we were talking about is, I said one of my slides says the greatest income producing activity that you can do is follow up. And it's probably one of the things that we do the least. But I will tell you, like, there's a girl on my team who she hit 1 star. She'll be a director by the time we go to ICU. She's doing amazing. And I'm not joking. I had to follow it up with her 20 times. So I would tell you that you can follow up in a tasteful way, not to be listen, there's a way to follow up to be an a-hole. People hate you, they block you, they're done with you. But there's a way to follow up with someone in a very tasteful, professional way. Like, compliment. It doesn't always have to be like, come join me. Are you ready to join me? Are you going to do my business? It's literally sending them a video. I think, Erica, you're on this call. You do a great job of sharing a great motivational video. Let them see the kind of leader you are. Because honestly, you're talking about someone who's already in a wellness company, right? So listen, are we going to go shake for shake, tit for tat? Is my company better than your company? No, people leave companies because they feel unsupported and they see leadership that's attractive. They see someone who can take them where they want to go. So if I were you, what I'd be following up with is adding value. I hope that if anyone's coming to ICU, I hope what you take away from my presentation is that if you get yourself out of the selling shakes business and into the adding value business, your business will 10x. When you add value to people, they want to follow. They want to chase you down the road and follow what you have. That's when they see what kind of leader you are. So what I would recommend to you is send videos. Like at Eric Ward, you like a script, you like something, you read something that's great, send it to them. Network marketing, and I would literally say, babe, network marketing skills are transferable. I saw this. I thought you'd love it. Skip to the 6-minute mark. Save them some time. Like, really add value. Right? Read an article, you think it's great, see something about their company that's really good, shoot it to them. Don't run. I said to Christina today, when I see people in other network marketing companies, some people run. I lean straight in, especially people that aren't interested. Lean in. Great. I love celebrating other people's success. I will celebrate you. There's more than enough to go around, and network marketing skills are transferable. So that's my answer, is you really just show the kind of leader you are and to follow up.
And follow up, I hate follow-ups, but I agree 100% with Jessica, but I'm going to be real. Like, they are my least favorite. Most of us don't love the follow-ups, right? Like, we want people to just message us every day and say, I'm ready, sign me up with a value pack. And that's not real. So I personally, what's really worked well for me is I make sure to get I have a quota each week of the amount of follow-ups that are non-negotiable for me and my business. And that's 25 a week minimum. But I do that in the beginning of the week, because I've learned that when I don't really do it like Monday, Tuesday, and then I wait until like Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday night, I just have a different vibe. And also, people that you're following up with are more likely to be motivated to try something new in the beginning of a week. My girl Regina shared that with me, that there was like a study done that like the beginning of a month, the beginning of a week, you know, just think of it that way. Like they probably had a crappy weekend of overeating or whatever, or they don't want to go to their job this week. So Monday, Tuesday would be my suggestion. And I've seen the results with that. Like people that I've been following up with 20 times come around when I do it in the beginning of the week. So just make that a non-negotiable income producing activity for you. Don't wait to do it because you hate it.
And there's one more thing that I'm going to add to that as well. You know, if you have some people who are like your dream team, or, you know, as Lauren mentioned, that Tracy O'Malley says, circle your top 10, keep them somewhere where you can reference them, because as your network, social media network grows, and as you're talking to a million people about Isagenix, you forget people. I mean, I truly do forget people all the time. So we did an exercise a few months ago for our team, and we challenged everybody to print out the pictures of their dream team with 20 people, and we had them take their Facebook photos, and we like made a little picture of it. And I have it on my desk, you guys. And so like I love on these 20 people every week. And some of them is just like Jessica said, like go to their page, like one of their daughters is sick, check in on their daughter, whatever it is, to just be that person, to show who you are as a person, not get into my business, but like, this is who I am. I care about you regardless of, you know, the situation, regardless of whether you join my team or not, but just have a place where you can reference back to either your hot list, like whether it's your dream team of who you want around your business board, or, you know, a running list of people who you're talking to, because you have to be able to reference back when things get really hectic and busy. Do we have time for one more question, Lauren? One more question, guys?
I'm not the boss. I have a schedule for 23 more minutes.
Kathy, you have one?
And I think Erica does too. Kathy's muted, but I think Erica still had one too.
Oh, okay. We'll go to Erica and then we'll go to Kathy.
Well, hi guys. Mine kind of went along with a bunch of you touched upon it with the last answer, but so I'm doing mine so much in between the craziness of the day and reaching out to people, and as far as like follow up in your list, right? So I've seen all different ways of people doing lists, you know, paper lists, Excel lists, and then, you know, making sure that when someone's on board, you're continuing to follow up with them even after they've become a customer. Does anyone have like a really good system that they have in place? Because, you know, what I try to do is at the end of the day, I'll go through all my text messages, all my messengers throughout the day, and I'll add them to my list. But that doesn't, you know, always happen. So, and anything that's been used before that's been really effective for anyone.
Well, I will say, and then I'm curious to see what everybody else uses as well, but we use the thing called the Matrix. Have you guys heard of that? Has anybody heard of the Matrix? So it is a, really just, it's kind of like an expansion of the 3x3x3. So it really just focuses on, you know, how 2 new connections every day, you know, 5 follow-ups, pouring some love onto people, team growth. And it's just like, I can post it in our group, but it looks like this. And it's almost like a checklist of sorts. So we started using it like last June on our team. And I have to say that it keeps me organized, Erica, for those specific things. So I have a notebook, you know, and my notebook is literally everywhere I go. Like it's here with me right now. So I try and do it daily. And Kristen referred to like having her 5 follow-up quota like a day or whatever. That's kind of what it is. But also in the back of my book is like the running list of people who I've had conversations with over the last few months.
And Jamie, that's exactly what I do too. I mean, I'm old school. I have my paper and notebook just because I know I always have it with me. Mm-hmm. But I've seen some like really sophisticated ones done like in Excel to like remind you who's coming up with some formulas behind it. I just didn't know if anyone had.
Oh, that is not me. I do not have an idea of that.
I'll insert just a little bit here because with my corporate background, I'm big into Excel. So I use a spreadsheet and it is coded. So like it's, there's different codes, and it colors the line based on what they're coded. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you can sort like who's on your chicken list. We call it chicken list, like people that you're hesitant to reach out to, who is enrolled, who is converted to an associate. things like that. And then there's a notes section. There's also your oh my God, y'all, my husband just crawled on the floor behind me because he didn't want to be seen on the video. I have to call him out. No lie. I was like, what is that? So funny. Okay, so it does that, and it also has a space like last spoke to, and then you can have a notes section. I would be more than happy to share the template with you all. I will put it on the page. Feel free to use it. If you come up with something and use that and it's even better, please share it back out, because I am all about like expanding this and making it even better. It is by all means not the Mecca, because I am not an Excel wizard, but I like to use systems. So Erica, check it out. Tell us what you think. And I'd love if anyone would give us feedback, or if you are an Excel guru, make it even better.
Hey, Renee, this is Lisa. I know my screen says Joe. That's my dad. I actually use a paper notebook as I'm going along, but each week I sit down and update my Excel. I would love to see Renee's. I too have mine coded, and I put them in by state as well, since I have a team across the country. That way, if I have an event, I can sort it and send out messages very quickly to certain areas. That's really helped a lot, having the area or the state in, because that was a big area. I was wasting a lot of time trying to send the right messages to people for invites. And for like the last 2 weeks, we've had multiple events in 3 different states. So I'm just like, okay, quickly send out 50 messages. One other quick note, I actually was fortunate enough to be able to talk with corporate last week, and they are working on a new ABO, and including potentially, a much better, I don't know how much I can say, but they did say that they're actually working on something technical for us that's going to encompass everything. So if you've come from a corporate background, or you have anything, you're used to like Salesforce.com, we're moving in that direction, guys, because what we have is kind of segregated. So that's exciting. That's really exciting to know that we have those kind of things in the future too, very soon.
For those of you who want to kind of get on the bandwagon with this, you can go to your personally enrolled details, which is that button just where you go to team, view my team. And you can actually copy all of the people's names and the files and dump that into Excel. And I actually do that. I did that primarily because I was creating a newsletter that I wanted to send out anytime we had promotions or things like that, product promotions. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of your people either have not been subscribed or unsubscribed accidentally from all the Isagenix stuff. Like my husband was unsubscribed and he didn't even do it. He just never got subscribed. So they don't get anything from corporate. So I went through, I dumped it in Excel, sorted it. So you can see everyone's information that you personally enrolled. At least start there. It's valuable to be able to have that information. And to be honest, if you don't keep track of that or haven't up to this point, it's a great opportunity for you to take a look at all the people that you have enrolled up until this point, and maybe even follow up with some of the people that have fallen off.
That's so good, you guys. I want to just say one quick thing for people that are not computer or the Excel thing, because I'm a notebook person. I know Tracy O'Malley is, because we've like joked about that. Like contact managing systems like overwhelm me because I'm just unfamiliar, not having worked in corporate America. But in terms of like, I literally leave tallies. Like if I had talked to Kristen, and then I sent her a video, like 1 contact, like follow up 1 contact. Like she didn't want to buy peach mango, 3rd contact. She didn't want free shipping, 4th contact. Like we went to lunch, 5th contact. Like Kisa, she'll always say, Lauren contacted me 11 times. And I'm like, how did you know that? She's like, you told me. Like it only took you 11 times to say yes. And I probably was looking at that when I called her. But outside of like the notebook, when just like Erica, where you're going through your text messages, your Facebook messages and scrolling through, I'll just like flip through pages of the notebook. So like most recent obviously is going to be at the back. And if I'm like, hey, these people are like giving me crickets, I'll go back to the front because it's like a few months out. But I also have a big whiteboard. And that's like where I don't ever want to be like, oh, Laura didn't show up for her 3-way call. I'm going to take a nap, right? Like I look at my whiteboard and I'm like, oh, Melissa's going for consultant this week, or Mary Ellen's going for manager, or Amy's going for director. Like I kind of have it that at any given point, then I can like check in, right? So if Amy was going for, manager, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, Kristen's went away and Renee's went away and, like Laura's went away. I'm like, you have 3 pirates, for her to be like, what? I'm like, I'm looking at your team. Like, how do we help? And you just start to push and drive the line. So if I know that Erica's going for 5-cycle bonus, I'm like, girl, it's Wednesday. You're at 3 cycles. Like, what's in the pipeline? Like, you're going to hit this bonus that you're never like what should I be doing? What should I do today? And part of having that big picture overview of what's happening in your business for the week or the month, outside of just who are you calling, who are you following up with, is something that's really helped me.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback on what Lauren said, guys, because I am organized in some ways and others. Like, I love the idea of an Excel spreadsheet, but I'm going to be honest, right now working full time and doing this in the pockets, I don't want to be spending time coming home and spending an hour taking information and inputting it into a spreadsheet. So there's nothing against it, but I would just be really careful about if you are going to do it, you can't take that out of your income producing activities, because to me, that's not an income producing activity. That needs to be something that you're going to add on to what you're currently doing. So you're going to take not work out for an hour instead that morning when you're going to be doing your Excel spreadsheet. Does that make sense? Because it's literally, in my opinion, like duplicating a little bit of effort. I understand the organization, so don't take offense to it, Excel people. I wish I was more organized to do it, but I just think you have to think of where you are in your business and what's really going to be effective at that time. I literally just have the book, like Lauren said, and I have just people's names, and I write next to it the date that I contacted them. And I don't even need notes, because I just look at the last message that I sent them. It's through Messenger or text message. I never delete. So for me, that's what works. So just do what works best for you, but be conscious of your time. It's like coming home and listening to 2 hours of a podcast. Not effective, right? You do that while you're driving or dishwasher or something like that. But I am excited to see your spreadsheet, Renee. It was no dig on your spreadsheet.
Okay, I think Kathy had a question.
No,
address Christina that was in the chat.
I want to be real quick before we go to that. I want to be totally transparent. So most of you know I have a corporate background. I came from corporate. I built this while working corporate. I did not have a spreadsheet while I worked corporate. Okay. I was a hot friggin' mess. And we're talking like complete scatterbrain. I had so many people coming to me. I've always been a power enroller, but here's the deal. I had to start treating this like a business when it became my full-time gig, and this was all that I was doing. And because I wasn't organized in the beginning, and I'm being honest, we're all different, right? Because I wasn't organized in the beginning, it created a lot of challenges for me later on down the road. So when I get people started, I try to set them up with something that's going to be able to help them to stay organized throughout, because playing catch up on 150 to 200 enrollments for my first year and a half was batty. And it was more work that I didn't want to be spending when I could have been doing it slowly along the way. So I will say I did not have systems. I was a mess. And I'm still a mess. Don't be misled. I'm still a mess, but I have a spreadsheet. That's all.
So good. All right, Kathy, what were you going to pop out and ask?
Oh, wait. Oh, now I'm unmuted. So quick question here, because I'm super, super new to Isagenix and did come over from another health and wellness network marketing company. So like for the reach outs for people who have kind of like gone into witness protection for me, when I go through following up, I mean, any suggestions? I've been kind of holding back from doing voice message because I'm actually afraid that they're not even going to listen to it. These are people. Or would you, any are totally usually when I send out a message, I'm trying to just kind of reestablish contact again and not mention anything about a business, but any tips there?
Go, Jess. I'm calling her out.
I'm sorry, I'm mute. I think really, as you rebuild in the new company, there's two approaches you could take. One is you could literally just create so much rapport, and then you better track in some sort of, if it's a spreadsheet or if it's paper, just who you're building rapport with. And you just create just rock solid relationships, and you let people watch success. The other thing that you could do is you could go to them and go, listen, I know I was in another company. Here's the deal. I believe in that company. It's a great company. But what I really want you to know is that I found something that has these factors, the products that have delivered emotional and visible results that blew me away, leadership I love, a compensation plan I can't turn down, and I want you to come along with me. I'm building an empire, and I want you to come. So you could either go light touch or you could go full contact. And so I think those are either approaches, and I think you have an equal chance that they'll succeed.
Thank you.
I want to say one thing, and then I'll take the last question. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for participating all night tonight. I was not in another network marketing company, but as a nutritionist, there was a program in Cleanse I used almost exclusively, and all of a sudden I was switching. And so, like, you know, by default, people are like, well, what was wrong with the other one? Or why do you want me to do this now? And like the analogy to that is like if you had your favorite Italian restaurant, right, but you never tried anything new, like how would you know if that one is better or worse, right? People sometimes stay what they're comfortable in and using that vulnerability. So just like Renee was saying, you know, she had to almost like slow down to speed up and create some systems that she could run a multiple six-figure business. Like, you know, this is why I had chosen that at the time, you know, but I found, and this is why I'm now doing this and just relating to people. I think that there's a lot of trust and a lot of ownership, and then highlighting everything Jessica just said that makes Isagenix so unique and so dynamic. Christina asked, what do we do every day to get fired up? And maybe we can close out with all of us just kind of answering this, because I think it'd probably be good to hear from everybody. But since I'm talking, and then I'll just mute. I do a few things every single day. And I think we actually talked about this in the Philly Summit as well. But number one, I do gratitude every single day. Like I went to yoga this morning and the woman started the class and she goes, the fact that all of you guys are here at 9:45 in the morning on a Monday, she goes, you must have a pretty good life. Like that's how she started the class. She goes, so can we just have gratitude that we can be doing that? And I was thinking like I already had done my gratitude for the day. So number one, always is I'm grateful for everything. And you guys, I did that before I was grateful for my Isagenix business. That's part of how I got the Isagenix business, no matter small or large, whatever it is, and not just like saying it, but like really feeling it. I work out every single day and usually first thing in the morning. I think it's really important to get your mind going, your creativity going, your endorphins going, your heart rate up, whatever that may be. So literally almost 7 days a week, every single week, I absolutely exercise first thing in the morning. The third thing I do is I start filling my brain with either a podcast or a book of something that inspires me. I think that in order to inspire others, you have to be inspired and you have to constantly be growing. And no matter what that is, and sometimes it has something to do with network marketing, sometimes it doesn't, but getting something that like jumps me out of bed. And if I'm having a flat day, I listen to Les Brown, I listen to Will Smith, like I listen to somebody who's like, like getting me all excited. And if I'm already feeling that way, then I'm ready to learn. I'll read a book and something that's going to improve my skill set. So my three things would be gratitude, exercise, and being inspired by somebody that inspires me. And remembering my wife, absolutely remembering wife.
I'll go next. So I just started after New York kickoff reading that script that Peta Kelly read to us, and she posted in the back office and also on isagenixbusiness.com. I printed it out, but I never really read it until about a month ago. And I think Kristen was the one who was like, yeah, when I read that, like things start to show up. I was like, I'm going to start reading that. She's amazing, right? I'm going to do what Kristen and Peta do. So I've been reading that every morning out loud, like with like excitement and passion. And oftentimes it is at like 6 a.m. and sitting in my office, drinking my cup of coffee, and like the workers are outside and they probably look inside my window and think I'm crazy. But that's how I like have to start my morning. And then I go right to my notebook and I also write down my gratitudes. And sometimes it's, you know, for a safe home, you know, we have to always find gratitude in your life, no matter what is going on, and really be excited about that. And then I also write out my attraction statement every day as well, who I want to attract into my life exactly that day, and get very specific on who it is that I want to bring into my life. And I like to work out as well.
Girl stole my look. I was going to say the Peta Kelly script. No, seriously, it works. And I actually changed some of it to be more me, because I did want to add the things that I want to attract or require working on differently. So I did edit some of it. And I have it in my office. And then I actually also, because I have it in my office, but I found that I wasn't reading it every day. And the morning is chaos for me with the boys, and I just wasn't committing. So I actually also put it in my vanity, where I'm always putting on makeup or blow drying my hair or something. Maybe not each day, but one of those is happening. So I literally read that out loud while that's happening. And Jamie Lynn's right. When you do it, like shit just happens, and it's pretty awesome. So if you haven't been doing that, I highly recommend it. In addition to the gratitude and everything else. I got nothing more to add. Jumping jacks. I don't know.
I think the last thing, I liked all of those answers. I think the one thing that gets me hyped up is birthday messages. I always start my day with birthday messages. It gets me hyped up. Just shoot them off. And I try to add some value to someone before 7 in the morning. That's what I like to do. Like before 7, I like to add value to people's life. That gets me hyped up.
I would say that I usually like to do my messages where I just tell people that I'm grateful for them, especially when I'm having a bad day. Or I'm going to be honest, I have a person, and it's okay to have a person where you can say, can you just listen to me for 5 minutes? Like if you're having that, I need a moment. And then you say, okay, now I'm going to focus on all the positive things. And you move on and you talk about positive things. Okay. I don't want everyone here to think that we're like not human. Okay. You're allowed to have feelings, and you're allowed to wake up and feel like crap. And to be totally transparent, that's how I felt this morning. Okay. I had like one of those moments, and I called my person. Okay. And I got over it and I moved on, and that was it. So it's okay. I also, physical activity, I'm a 5:45 a.m. worker outer, and that usually sets my tone solid for the day, just because it gets me up and gets me out and gets my endorphins going. So that's really, really important for me. And also doing things for yourself. Okay. Listen, I love Isagenix, and it is a very large part of my life, but there are also a lot of other parts about your life. So if you are in a funk and maybe you're not feeling super fabulous, do something for 30 minutes or whatever period of time you need to be able to feel fulfilled so that you can get your mojo back. It's okay to do that. Whether it's go jam out to some music in your ears by yourself just to get those vibes. It doesn't, don't shoot the messenger, but it doesn't always have to be personal development, but it has to be personal for you. Okay? Super important. Self-love, self-care is critical in addition to personal development. It's 10 o'clock.
You guys are awesome.
All right, guys.
Okay, so just remember, anybody who hits Crystal Director will get the private link to the call with Kathy Coover and Eric Coover.
And we had one hit it today. Kristen, I think she's still on. I don't know if she is or not. She hit it before the call. Yes, she is. I see her. Kristen Carpenter. She hit it a few minutes before the call. Go, girl.
Yay! So, I mean, obviously message your upline or sponsor. If it's Renee or Jessica or me or Jamie Lynn or Kristen, whoever has added you to the Rapid Reset, when you hit it, and obviously they'll confirm in your back office that it says, Crystal Director, whatever, that you got that. And then you guys will get that link privately. So it's not this same one, because we really want you to work for that, and that's not fair to invite anybody who don't really work for it. So we have one more call for those of you that nail it, and you've got 60 days. You guys are awesome. Thank you, girls. I learned so much from all of you guys.
Thanks for
participating. Bye.
Bye.
Guys, this weekend, I see Philly.